DramaCityProductions.com.
You are plugged in for the Podcast Wrestling Society, where you can get dynamic weekly pro wrestling and MMA related content. Give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at PODWRES Society so that you can stay in the know.
Space is the place, and the sky's the limit.
And if you like what you hear, give us a 5-star review and hit that subscribe button.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Now, your host, he is the one and only Troy Adams.
He refused to follow the script.
It's an effing shoot, bro. Welcome to Wrestling Wednesday on the Podcast Wrestling Society. Tuesday is gone forever, bro. I'm your loving leader, benevolent host, Midwest Monster, and I created the Attitude Era, bro. And when it was gone, I cried, bro. I am Troy Adams. And castrating the marks with me here today, bro, he's gonna put it on a poll. He is the naked middy into my beaver cleavage. It's Kyle. No, wait. Swerve, bro. It's Greg. What up, Greg?
I want to stab you for a couple of reasons, but what's up?
Because I called you Kyle?
No.
Come on, Kyle.
First of all, you took my intro.
Putting it on a poll? No,
I'm like, well, man, when I found out we were going to record this, I cried, bro.
I tried to fit them all in there. Including the...
I'll leave that alone, too.
Oh, my God. Including the... It's Wednesday. That means Tuesday's gone forever, bro.
We should have put Tuesday's Gone in there. That would have been a great intro.
Oh, good Lord. I'm not going to disgrace that song by putting it on a podcast about Vince Russo.
That is very fair.
But, yeah, man.
Hey, they're both classics, bro.
Oh, good.
This guy's a hot topic, though, man. So it's like...
Yeah. Well, speaking of hot topics, this one is in the can, so you haven't even left for New York in real time, but in real time, or like by the time this posts, you're back. Or no?
Yes.
Are you Yeah, because you're flying back, what, Wednesday?
When is this post?
April... It's the Wednesday after WrestleMania.
I'll be at work.
Okay. Well, sucks for you, I guess. But...
Why? I just had an epic vacation.
Yeah. Well, right
and
now...
And I love my job, so it doesn't suck, so I'm okay with that.
As of the recording of this, you haven't even left for your vacation. So it's like, back to the future, bro.
Don't tell me what's gonna happen.
I didn't even know what time travel is, bro.
Now it's just getting stupid.
Getting? It was stupid as soon as I started it. But if you haven't figured out, ladies and gents, today we're going to run down all things Vince Russo.
Oh, yeah, we're going to run him down, all right?
Oh, yeah. This might get some hits for the wrong reasons. Might get some hits for the right reasons. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, there's plenty to dive into with him. Most of it is not good. Not good. Not good at all. Bad. Another New Yorker. Getting them all in here, man. But before we officially get into the life and times of Vince Russo, let me tell you about WrestlingWithWrestling.com. You go there. We don't cover the news anymore on the podcast if you haven't figured it out. We might cover 1 or 2 subjects a week. But that's it. We're not covering the latest breaking news anymore. But WrestlingWithWrestling.com, they do. So go there, check them out. Great resource for all your wrestling stuff. And it's not just news. They have podcasts like this one. They have videos, all that cool stuff. WrestlingWithWrestling.com, covering all 4 corners of the ring. And our website that we're on, DramaCityProductions.com. If you do /P.W.S, there's our page. And you can see all of our backlogged episodes. And then there's 2 buttons you can click on, merch and more merch. It'll take you to our merch stores, where we have tons of great stuff. Recently on youtube.com /Podcast Wrestling Society, That's our new custom URL. Someone asked me if we had a merch store. I said, we do. We have 2. So if you want your own P.W.S. swag, go there, check it out. And of course...
Please.
Oh, yeah. And now that, WrestleMania is in the can, or going to happen, but you know what I mean. This is in the can. But Kyle and I did some exclusive WrestleMania stuff. Go to patreon.com/PodWrestSociety. There you can get some exclusive Patreon stuff. And we'll have reviews and tons of good stuff there if you go to patreon.com/PodWrestSociety. So, that's enough pimping and peddling of our wares. You want to dive into all things Vince Russo, bro?
Do I want to?
Well, nobody wants to. But, well, I don't know. It's kind of funny, so.
And depressing, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Well, we might as well start at the beginning.
We like hurting ourselves,
We do, and it's all for your enjoyment, listeners. So I hope you enjoy. But yeah, so let's start at the beginning. Where he came from, man. I don't know where the hell
he was born in Brooklyn, bro.
He was born in some place called Farmingville, New York. And
yeah, but ain't as cool as Brooklyn, bro.
Right. And what gets me, did you know he has a college degree?
That doesn't surprise me.
That kind of blows
Hey,
my
look, I'll
mind.
be honest. I never thought he was stupid. I just thought his ideas were. I mean, I don't think he's a dumb man.
It's up for debate, but we'll let the listeners decide. But yeah, he graduated from University of Southern Indiana. Apparently, he owned 2 video stores, got on the radio with a show called Vicious Vincent's World of Wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah. The program ran for exactly 1 year, the final show being on the 1-year anniversary. I'm surprised he got a whole year's worth of shows out of that. But whatever. I mean, he's no Uncle Dave.
Well, hell no.
But who is?
Oh, God. I'm going to hit you for that one, too.
In 1992...
Like, because you're serious.
Oh, shut up. In 92 is when he was hired to WWF as a freelance writer for the magazine, and he became the editor in 94 under the pseudonym Vic Venom. We'll talk about that, where that springs up later on. Oh, good Lord. Apparently, he joined the creative team in 1996 during the 83-week on-top reign of Nitro in the Monday Night Wars, which we will cover in a future episode. But they frequently refer to Vince Russo's writing style as Crash TV. And you and I, Greg, grew up during the Attitude Era. We know a thing or two about Crash TV.
Destroy stuff, bro. I want to see women's breasts, bro.
It was, wow. It was a lot of sexual innuendo, scantily clad women, stupid gimmicks, belts that don't, championships that don't mean anything.
Yeah, because they all mean something now.
I don't know. They try to make them mean something now. But, yeah, he went on to, apparently he gets credit. He tries to give himself credit for more things than he actually did. But to this day, he argues with everybody. No, I created The Rock and Stone Cold, bro. Even though he's the only person in the entire world that says that. Whatever. But even the critics of him cite him for things like, pushing Sable and coming up with great characters like...
Well, that I can believe. I mean,
yeah.
What did we just say?
Yep. TNA, bro.
She got a big chest, bro. That's a star. Ooh, let's put 2 stars over them and put them on TV, bro.
What the hell?
Did he not do that?
Wait, what?
Put stars over her breasts and put her on TV?
Oh.
Well, they were hands. Close enough.
Yeah, they're handprints. Yeah.
Close enough.
I don't know if I guarantee he contributed to that.
I'd bet my right eye.
But he also came up with fantastic characters like the porn star Val Venus and the pimp Godfather.
Yeah. I mean, those were, yeah, I mean, I get it that it's like innuendo, but it worked, you know? Like, Val Venus was a huge thing. Giggity.
Wow, good Lord. Well, it wasn't even
I didn't mean it like that. It just, no, it wasn't.
Innuendo.
I mean, yeah.
He flat out was a porn star.
Well, when you get,
Boom.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, because he had Janet Jameson in his Titantron, so yeah.
Yeah, and he kept talking about his latest release, Shaving Ryan's Privates and stuff like that. And the minister, what was it? The preacher's wife, crap like that. It was just
crap.
Yeah, just I will say, I thought Val Venus had a good look and he was a good wrestler.
Oh, I'd hope.
Wow, but good Lord, man! And apparently, like, you remember the spiel that Godfather used to go on when he came to the ring, spark up another fatty for this pimp daddy, blah, blah, blah. As a kid, I didn't get it, obviously. And apparently, Vince McMahon didn't get it either, which is why he was able to get away with it.
Bro, he smokes weed, bro.
He is credited with devising the infamous Brawl for All.
Hell yes.
For those of you unaware...
Well, if you're listening to this and don't know what the hell that is, you need to go back and watch. It's on the network.
Yeah. We'll cover it more extensively later on. But it was a shoot fight, bro! Tournament with wrestlers. Where they
no joke. It was a shoot. That's not a joke.
Yeah. And they took a break from scripted wrestling that they wanted you to buy into and says, all that was fake. This is real.
This is real.
There you go. Thank you for that. And it wasn't like a normal boxing match. It was like boxing / MMA. And it was dumb. And there was a bunch of like B and C list guys competing in this too. Like the guys you thought would compete in this didn't.
Well, to be fair, I think they wouldn't let Shamrock and Severn. I think that's what they said.
Well, from what I heard, originally Shamrock said yes, and then later he came back and said no. Why? Like,
no, he would embarrass him.
Well, what would this do for him? If he won, cool. If he lost, that's bad.
He wasn't gonna lose. He was still in his prime at that point.
Yeah, he probably would have won. But weird things happen. I mean, we see it in UFC all the time.
But that's with another trained fighter.
Yeah.
I mean, the only person that might have stood a chance was Steve Blackman.
Steve Blackman, Dr. Death, and...
Yeah, right, yeah.
I don't know. And, dude, Bart Gunn knocked everybody out.
Yeah, so it's like Dr. Death stood no chance.
Yeah. It was really weird. I guess a lot of people originally said yes, and then they pulled out in the end because they said it was, it was just going to hurt them.
Oh, are we still on Val Venus?
Good Lord. No.
I remember when I was a kid watching it. I feel like I might have been indifferent about it. It's like I didn't care. Wasn't like mad at it. I don't know. I remember like watching it. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's part of the show. Looking back at it, it was stupid. But like I was 14. Yeah, 14. And I went with it.
Well, even as a kid, I was watching it because I was like 8 at the time. And I'm watching this going, what, like, why? Because, I mean, first of all, I didn't care about shoot fighting at 8. I wanted to watch wrestling. 2, I'm like, these are all the guys I don't give a damn about. Like,
well, that's the point. They want you to give a damn.
I was like, why do I give a damn that Bob Holly is fighting Savio Vega? I mean, I don't know if they, they were in the tournament, but I don't know if they fought each other.
Sure they did.
But it's like you had Justin Hawk Bradshaw, Bob Holly.
No, that was Blackjack Bradshaw.
Oh, excuse the hell out of me.
It's okay. Mistakes happen,
But yeah, Blackjack Bradshaw, Bob Holly Bart Gunn.
Bart freaking Gunn.
Dr. Death Steve Williams. Steve Blackman, who I mildly cared about, and Savio Vega, and there's a couple other. Oh, I cared about The Godfather.
I'm sorry, just listening to that who's who of talent.
I know, and it's like, and people got hurt, people got pissed.
There's a lot of guys in there that I thought were good wrestlers. I'll say that, but
yeah, but I don't want to see them legit fight each other. I didn't give a crap. It's like, good for you. I don't know. It did nothing.
Yeah, the thing about them getting hurt, like, I think Jim Cornette still rants to this day. Like, that's his biggest thing.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get to Jim Cornette later, because it can't be a Vince Russo show without talking about James E. Cornette. Mother effer.
If I live to be 90, I don't care as long as I get to piss on his grave. Like, I get it, but man, dude, you carry a lot of hate, dude. That's a lot of hate.
Hell yeah, he does. For many people. But
we could talk about Vince Russo all day long, and I wasn't there, so I don't know. But to just want to literally urinate on his grave, I'm like, dude. I get he's an atheist too. Okay, whatever, teach his own. But he may need some spiritual help. I mean,
you think?
That's wrong. I don't want to. Yeah, we're going off course. But seriously,
he needs a lot of help. I mean, Vince Russo does too. But yeah, we'll get.
Apparently, he's Christian now, right?
Yeah, but he says that, and then he'll sit there flipping off the camera and going on some long rant.
Yeah, but I to each his own. Maybe he respects his Christianity a different way, whatever. But
he's just a weird dude. All right,
you don't say.
Can we agree on that?
All day.
But either way, moving past the Brawl for All, yeah, I will say this. Compliments to end it here. And I don't know if this is all. I'm not crediting all Russo here, but he did play a part in it. In the 2 years following Russo's promotion to head writer, Raw surpassed WCW's Nitro in head-to-head ratings.
And I think therein lies the problem with his ego.
Yep. Because he never did anything else worthwhile after that.
Well, it's funny. It's like, in talking with Ramon, I'm like, how many 5-star matches in the Russo era in any company were there? I mean...
Yep. Maybe TNA.
I can think of, the triple threat from Unbreakable, which I still argue to this day is maybe the greatest match I've wrestled. But, yeah, not many.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Well,
the thing is, though, he's had interviews where he's flat out said, nobody cares about matches, bro. He said this. He still says it to this day.
Yep, he says they only care about storylines, which I do care about storylines. I will say this. I care about a match more if there's a storyline behind it. But if the match sucks, I don't care at all.
I mean, look at this whole thing with Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that match, assuming it's going to happen, I think it's a safe bet, is going to probably be one of the best matches of the entire night. And people are going to care about it more now because it's looking like Kofi's not going to get it.
Yep.
It's okay to cap it off with a match, I agree with him to the point where people do care about more stuff that happens, the Attitude Era is a lot of stuff off screen. And,
right.
Like I just said, there's not many great matches, but that was what made the Attitude Era great. How about capping it off with a 5-star match?
I felt in-ring product, WCW surpassed WWF.
At least in the undercard.
Yeah.
I might argue that WWE's main events were always better.
Usually. Well, mostly because WWF usually put, and I'm not dogging on the guy, but let's be honest, they put Hulk Hogan up top most of the time.
Well, I mean, I'm talking in the Russo era, though.
Oh. Well, you're talking...
I mean, let's take one example. For example, let's say SummerSlam 98. Mm-hmm. Austin the Undertaker, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Road Wild, which had Hogan and Bischoff against Jay Leno and DDP. Come on. I mean...
Yeah, that was more of a
example. The undercard was probably way better with the cruiserweights and stuff. And
right. Well, that was more of a let's get eyes on the product.
Well,
match.
yeah, but either way,
Right.
it's not how it happened; it's just what happened. So it's
right, I agree.
Clearly, WWE beat them there at the end of the show.
Right.
But in the middle, WCW owned them.
I mean, well, look at the payoff, Starrcade '97, for that huge feud.
Yeah.
Kind of blah. Either way.
Side note, that match was not that bad. It gets overlooked because of the ending.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think the match sucked. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Let's go through, before we hit our first break, some rumor and innuendo versus the truth. Russo claims that he was the one that told The Rock to speak in the third person. However, in multiple interviews, Jim Ross and Bruce Pritchard attribute that to Jim Ross. The story shared by Ross and Pritchard says that Ross saw Deion Sanders doing an interview calling himself Primetime in the third person, and Ross told The Rock to copy that. Vince Russo's story is...
Yeah, they're all wrong. Yeah, I was glad you said that. I was like, it was Deion Sanders. He started the whole thing.
Yeah, well, JR and Bruce both say that, whereas Vince Russo says, no, I just, pulled it out of my butt, told him, talk in the third person. Sure you did. Russo also claims...
Well, to be fair, I've never heard him talk about football. He's a huge Yankee fan, right? And for some reason, a Giants fan. Screw him for that. But so maybe he didn't watch football. I'll give him that. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just looking for an excuse. Devil's advocate. I don't know. Yeah,
but even then, it's like he just pulled it out of his butt. Oh, yeah, you should talk in the third person. That'd be a good gimmick. Why?
Well, yeah, I didn't do much for The Rock if you really think about it. So.
Oh, yeah. He also claims he's responsible for the characters of Mr. McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Goldust. Austin, Dustin Rhodes, Bruce Pritchard, Jim Cornette, and others, that's just the base, have all disputed the extent to which Russo contributed to those characters.
I think Pritchard gave him a lot of credit for Goldust.
Yeah, he said he enhanced the character, but he said the actual concept was Vince McMahon's, I think. So, I don't know.
Well, look at the character. Clearly that's got Russo written all over it, so that one I'll buy.
Yeah, that one, and I'm not saying he didn't...
Oh, bro, he's going to touch other men, bro!
What the hell?
That's what he did!
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that Russo had no part in these characters, by the way. Obviously he did. He was the head writer. But, he acts like he invented these guys. Give me a break.
Well, that was clearly Chris Jericho.
Well, he invented everything. We all stole from him. Here's the one that I couldn't believe. Billy Gunn and Road Dogg have said that they went to Russo once asking one of their storylines be changed, and he dismissed them with a, go F yourselves.
Yeah.
That was classy.
What was the story? Do you remember?
I don't remember what it was. It was they just wanted one of their storylines altered, and he just, instead of talking it out with them, he just said, go F yourselves. And told
Why do I got
out.
a feeling it was the thing with the blow-up sex doll?
I don't know. Wait, which time? Because I remember them bringing that out in Unforgiven when they were in North Carolina.
That's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Why do I feel like that was the one?
That might have been the one. Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like New Age Outlaws would have done that more than once, but I could be wrong. Both Pritchard and Cornette have also backed up that Russo was not very personable with talent, we'll say.
What does that mean specifically?
Just meaning that he wasn't very understanding when people came to him wanting to change stuff. He was like, "Oh, this is my idea, and you do what I say."
Bro.
So he was very whiny. And Eric Bischoff has also said that if you went to him and said, "I don't like this, maybe you could do this," he would throw a hissy fit and go off and cry.
Like you did with that guy. Never mind.
What the hell? Well,
I cried, bro.
Let's hit our first break here. When we come back, we'll kind of gloss over his leaving the WWF, why, and then kind of gloss over his WCW run and head right in to TNA. We'll be right back.
DramaCityProductions.com.
Interruption in progress. Now hijacking into ANS 2.0 immersion rig. Now simulating the amazing nerd show. Featuring comics.
And Batman's like, you're safe here and everything, but the Joker all of a sudden pulls out a gun and shoots himself.
Movies.
People fight with lightsabers. What the hell do you want? I mean, in every one of these movies, there's a lightsaber battle.
Yeah, no problem. I'm gonna rewatch it a million times.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, give me something more.
Wrestling.
That would be awesome. Oh my god, just a monster. Fans would be like, holy, what the hell's going on? What happened to Jericho?
Horror.
It starts off like any other like home invasion type of story, and then it just goes crazy.
And more.
Hey, this is Christian.
Hey, this is Damon.
And we are the Amazing Nerd Show.
Make sure to download us on all your favorite podcast platforms.
All right, we're back, and I guess it's time to talk about why Vinny Ruru left the World Wrestling Federation, a.k.a. Uncle Vinny's Nut House, on September 16th.
Which Vinny? Sorry.
Well, Vince McMahon is Uncle Vinny, and this...
well, okay, because it's about to become Uncle Vinny's Nut House on the other show, so...
You're not wrong.
You gotta be specific.
Good call. On September 16th, 1999, Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara signed with WCW, a day that will live in infamy. Ed Ferrara, for those of you who don't know, but used to watch WCW television, and God help you all,
Good grief.
He was Oklahoma, a.k.a.
Oklahoma!
Former, he was Jim Ross impersonator and former Cruiserweight champion. Haha, this is real.
Can't make this up. And why would you? You're wasting your time.
Yep. Russo contends that his reason for leaving WWF was a result of a dispute with Vince McMahon over the increased workload caused by the introduction of the new SmackDown broadcast, because apparently he was having to write for 2 shows with the same amount of pay, and it was more work time, because I guess he was on salary instead of hourly. And when he said something to Vince McMahon about, well, my wife's basically a single mother now, and, because I'm never home, he said, I don't see what the problem is. You make enough money, hire a nanny. And Russo says that's when he was done. I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, concerning who's saying it.
Well, the only 2 people who know.
I mean, I'm not dismissing
Vinces.
that. If that happened, that's messed up. But
well, Bruce Pritchard was saying, he was like, I could see Vince saying that, but on the other hand, he's like, yeah, that's just what you do. He's like, I did it, everybody else did it, so whatever. Russo quit via phone call, despite only being a 2-hour drive away from where Raw was that night. And he didn't see
better than a FedEx.
That would have been hilarious. Not showing up for work tonight, bro. And he actually writes that on the letter in crayon.
Purple crayon.
Yep. The R's and bro, or the R and bro is backwards.
Wow. I'm not doing it. Nope. Wasn't me.
Well, if you want a full, in-depth what the hell happened when he went to WCW, it's in the archives. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to dive into with that. One thing, I think we touched on this, not in a way that would be pleasing to Vince Russo, but we've touched on it, was one of the ideas that he had was putting the now vacated WCW title on the shoot fighter Tank Abbott.
Yeah, and this was in the midst of Tank Abbott dancing with the recount.
Yeah. In an attempt to do something believable, the idea originally to have a Rumble match in which Sid Vicious would be an early entrant in the match. It would last all the way to the end when Abbott would come into the match and eliminate him with one punch. Russo claims Abbott may not have held the belt for more than 24 hours if this title change had actually occurred. However, the day after he and his committee came up with the idea, he was asked to work in a committee and no longer be a head writer. It
I
took
believe they sent
that.
them home.
Yeah, took this. Good Lord.
So it's okay to do all these outlandish things, and the sexual things and stuff, but Tank Abbott being a champion, nope, go home.
Yeah, it's like, look, Tank Abbott, too damn far. 3 months after Russo's departure, Kevin Sullivan, who took over for him, was relieved of his duties, and Russo was reinstated as Booker, along with Eric Bischoff. And
Yeah,
again,
because what could go wrong having those two together?
Oh, I know. And Bischoff,
You're about to see.
Bischoff did say his one regret was that because ultimately he had the authority to shut him down if he saw fit, but he didn't want to cause problems, so he took a very hands-off approach. Well, that was very bad. We're not going to cover all the stupid stuff, but
It's in the archives.
Yep. I mean, there's just naming some of the ones that you can hear more about in the archives, as you just said. There was Vince Russo being a on-screen heel authority figure. There was the New Blood versus Millionaires Club.
Hey, that was not bad.
That was okay.
I think after it got started, it became bad.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
Yeah, there were... Okay, I'll say this. Many Vince Russo concepts were good, that were terrible in execution. He also feuded with Rick and David Flair, or, well, there was a feud between Rick and David Flair with Vince Russo.
Hey, don't forget, at some point, Reed got involved, too.
Yep.
I think he was like 12 at the time.
Yeah, they shaved Rick's hair and Reed's hair. He had a feud with Goldberg, and he had a short reign as world champion, because why not?
Don't forget, he's also the genius that turned Goldberg heel.
He refused to follow the script.
But the Bash the Beach 2000 incident, here we go, man. Eric Bischoff states in his autobiography, Controversy Creates Cash, that Hogan winning and leaving with the title was a work which would have resulted in his return several months later, where the plan was to crown a new champion at Halloween Havoc, where Hogan would have come out at the end of the show and ultimately win a champion versus champion match. But Russo coming out to fire him was in fact a shoot, bro, which led to a lawsuit filed by Hogan. Bischoff claims that he and Hogan celebrated after the event over the angle, but were distraught to get a phone call hearing of Russo's in-ring shoot, bro, after Hogan left the arena.
From what I heard, they were on the plane when it happened. They didn't hear about it until they landed.
Yeah, they got back home, got a phone call. I guess they ordered the replay just to watch it, and they were like, what the hell just happened? So yeah, that was a lovely Russo call right there. If you want to know more about it, it is in the archives. It's one of our most listened to episodes. Go check it out. His departure from WCW. Russo's contract was bought out by Time Warner shortly after the WCW buyout. Russo's second book, Rope Opera, How WCW Killed Vince Russo, which just the name of that makes me want to bash my head through the wall, was released March 1st.
He's alive and well to me, if anything.
Yeah. Which one of them is dead? Huh? Come on. It came out in March.
It's okay to laugh because it's just a
2010.
company. It's not a person. So, haha.
Yeah.
I miss WCW, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I do too. But the title Rope Opera stems from the title of a TV series idea that he pitched to networks at the time of his WWF tenure.
Rope Opera.
Yep.
That sounds so bad.
Yeah, I guarantee it would have been. Russo later returned to the WWE in mid-2002, but quickly left after saying that there was, quote, no way in the world that this thing would work out. Yeah. That's an understatement. The major storyline idea he proposed was an entire restart of the WCW invasion, featuring previously unsigned talent such as Bill Goldberg, Scott Steiner, Eric Bischoff, and Bret Hart.
All right, I would not have hated that.
I don't think I would have hated it, no. But the other thing, Bruce Pritchard said he sat in the room day one and said, and his two big ideas that he threw out was, one, we got to vacate all the titles, bro, have tournaments. Which is exactly what he did in WCW.
Man.
And then he asked, he was like, bro, has Triple H and Chris Jericho ever worked together, bro? Keep in mind, this was right after they main evented WrestleMania.
Well, to be fair, he said he doesn't watch the product much, so maybe he legit didn't know that, to be real fair.
Okay,
I mean,
but if you're going into work for the damn company, don't you think you should know what the hell is going on?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Especially their biggest... You didn't order WrestleMania before going into work for them. Come on.
Well, to be fair, that WrestleMania, that match is forgotten.
Yeah.
You know?
Chris Jericho himself said, look, we were the last match, but we were not the main event. Which was why Chris Jericho said that Punk's argument about he deserved the main event was stupid, because he said, look, Rock and Hogan were the main event. We just went on last.
That's true.
Yep.
And that was an amazing match they had together, so maybe it's all perception.
It is. Feeling disrespected by a phone call with Stephanie McMahon, Russo left on his own accord, supposedly turning down a $125,000 per year stay-at-home, quote, advisory role with WWE in favor of a $100,000 per year full-time position with TNA. And you know what? And it all worked out for the best, I guess. We're not.
Man, you must be joking.
Oh, I am. Well, that takes us into the last part of our show here. TNA. And we'll touch on that when we come back from our last break. We're going to let you know about some other great podcasts here on the Drama City Productions Podcast Network. When we come back, Vince Russo, bro, in TNA. We'll be right back.
DramaCityProductions.com.
Hey folks, Brandon Fisher here, the host of Sack 'em Up Sundays, the newest comedy podcast to be put on the Drama City Productions Network. Tune in each week as we get really stupid, talking about things we know absolutely nothing about. From politics to true crime, movies, to hypothetical questions that go absolutely nowhere. Each episode is filled with at least an hour of hilarious and super offensive content. So join myself and my co-host Dipsy D each week as we get real, talking about absolutely nothing. You can find us at iTunes, Podbean, CastBox, and pretty much anywhere podcasts are available. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at EM_SAC to keep yourself updated on shows or to drop us ideas for things to talk about. We're always looking for things to discuss.
All right, we are back, and it is time for some TNA, bro. I don't know if anybody's ever been excited to say those words.
No, not since 2007.
Hey, I liked it up until 2010-ish. I don't know. But in July 2002, Vince Russo joined Jeff and Jerry Jarrett's NWA TNA promotion as a creative writer and would assist in the writing and production of the shows. Russo claims that the name Total Nonstop Action came from him, and the original concept was, as they were exclusive to pay-per-view, to be an edgier product than WWE, the initials of the company, TNA, being a play on T and A.
That's clearly, him.
Yep. Well, and Vince and Jerry Jarrett didn't know what the hell it was.
Well, you knew.
Well, does that have something to do with chicken salad? Well, you know. Huh? Dude,
Bruce Pritchard's an ass.
He is, but I listened to some shoots, bro, by Jerry Jarrett, and he does say, well, you know, like quite a bit. I mean, it's not as funny as when Pritchard says it, but I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God. Every time he says, well, you know, I'm like, oh my good lord.
He really does it.
Yep. And he's ruined me, dude. I was in the store the other day and I saw some chicken salad for sale, and I about lost my crap.
I will. Damn it.
Yeah. Russo left the company after the 2004 Victory Road pay-per-view. Not that Victory Road. We'll get to that later. In a November 2005...
Hey, that's not his fault.
No, it's not. I'm not blaming him on that, no. November 2005 interview, Russo states that he never wrote a single show on his own during this period in TNA, and described his time there as, quote, a total nightmare.
Yeah.
Trust me, it was a nightmare for all of us.
Something tells me, it wasn't that bad because he goes back.
Multiple times. Bro, I know how to fix your show, bro. It sucks, and I can make it work, bro.
No champions, tournaments, bro.
Here's some good ones. September 21st, 2006. My 16th birthday. TNA president...
Well, happy birthday to you for what you're about to say.
TNA president Dixie Carter re-signed Vince Russo as a writer of the TNA creative team. During the March 2007 TNA pay-per-view Destination X, in a last rites match between Abyss and Sting, Fire Russo chants erupted from the crowd in the arena at Orlando.
Yeah. I remember this. I watched this on pay-per-view.
Yeah, we both did, and we didn't know each other at the time, I don't believe, but... Or no, did we? I don't think so.
What year was it?
07?
Nah, definitely not.
Okay. Another time the Fire Russo chants were heard was at the following month's pay-per-view Lockdown that was held in St. Louis. The chants were heard during the electrified steel cage match with Team 3D and LAX, where the lights would flicker on and off whenever the wrestler touched the cage, giving the impression...
Oh, God, I forgot about that.
Giving the impression of electrocution.
Good grief, I forgot all about that.
Dixie Carter has since noted that gimmick was created by writer Dutch Mantell, who some of you may know as Zeb Coulter. However, during a 2011 interview, Mantell denied this. Mantell took a jab at this, saying that in all of his years in booking and writing, he never once heard a Fire Dutch chant. He's not wrong. On addressing
yeah, but that's before the Smarks, though.
Yeah, that's true. On addressing the Fire Russo chants, Russo said that he was not head of creative during that time, and when the idea of the electrified steel cage was presented to him, he said that there was no way, bro, that concept could have been done in a believable manner, and that he was blamed for ideas that he never even came up with. To play devil's advocate, that is fair. Because it's like the Fire Road Dogg chants that used to happen on SmackDown. Like, why is he the one?
Yeah, I mean, clearly we know there's like a huge, what's that word again? Committee?
Yeah. So, it's not one guy. They just happen to know, hey, it's Vince Russo and he sucks, so we're going to chant Fire Russo. So, yeah. Russo stepped down from his role as contributing writer in October of 2011, with Bruce Pritchard taking over the role as head writer. February 14th, 2012, TNA President Dixie Carter explained that TNA and Vince Russo had mutually parted ways during the week. But that's not the end of the story, Greg. Unfortunately.
It never is. This guy's like a freaking cockroach.
Oh my God. You're getting a letter. April 2014, the PW Insider website claimed that Russo had worked as a consultant for TNA Wrestling. Russo denied
Sorry.
Russo denied the reports, but on July 15th, PW Insider reported that Russo had accidentally sent an email to them with instructions on how TNA's commentators work. As a result, and after trying to state that he wasn't involved with TNA, Russo admitted on his website that he was already working as a consultant for TNA Wrestling to work with TNA's commentators, and that one of TNA's conditions was that Russo was to keep his involvement confidential. In less than 2 days, Russo's statement was removed from his website. Holy hell.
And I believe that's what got him thrown off Spike TV, right?
Yeah. I think it got him thrown off a Spike, and then I think Russo also got them thrown off of Destination America.
Man, how do you ruin that one?
Yeah. Now they're on Pop TV along with, and I can say this because it's the family's name, or the town's name, I've found out, Schitt's Creek. It's not a cuss word. It's a name
Giggity.
spelled with an SCH and
Yeah,
two
I'm from
T's.
Schitt's Creek.
July 30th, 2014, Russo claimed that he was, quote, officially done with TNA. Not long after, Russo revealed that he had been working for TNA since October of 2013, claiming that he had been involved with creative meetings and also critiqued the weekly episodes of Impact Wrestling. Well, if I want somebody's critique, it's got to be his.
No, hell yeah.
Before we finish completely burying the guy, you want to say a couple positives here about him?
He has really good hair.
Wow. Sure.
Well, I mean, he likes the Giants and the Yankees. I don't know. I got to dig for something.
Well, I said he always had a storyline for someone.
Yeah.
Which wasn't always a positive because some people do not need storylines. But he tried. I said he elevated younger talent, not always relying on veterans, which was sometimes good, sometimes bad.
That goes to why I like the Millionaires Club versus the New Blood. Like, there was, a guy like Billy Kidman was being pushed. Whether you like him facing Hogan or not, that's up for debate. But,
right.
Billy Kidman wouldn't have got pushed from anyone else, clearly.
Yeah. He
discovered AJ Styles. I feel like he's the first guy to really push AJ hard, so that's great.
It is. And then he turned around and crapped on him.
Well, he's not a real Christian, bro. He doesn't even he's not what I do, bro.
Well, he got mad because he didn't want to be Mini Nature Boy. He doesn't want to work he doesn't want to work with my storylines, bro. Whatever. And
some of my favorite parts of him, like good things he's done, is like all the not to go back on it, but the backstage stuff on Raw with Austin running over stuff. That was great. I mean, it was entertaining. I loved it.
I also said he tried to make wrestling a bit less cartoony and more mature and PG-13 as opposed to G and PG.
Yeah, maybe too much, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he did have some really, really stupid ones. I mean, we mentioned beaver cleavage at the top of the show. So there you go.
Yeah.
But, I think we've said...
I mean, I'll say this about him. The guy's clearly got 9 lives. That's a good thing, right?
Oh, good Lord. Sure?
Hey, dude, anybody that can keep, coming back and convincing someone to hire him after all that, you got to give him some kind of credit.
Yeah, for tricking enough people into hiring him.
The guy can clearly manipulate people. I don't know. But
well, yeah, well, hey, Eric Bischoff said the guy is a great salesman, but then he's terrible in execution. So there you go. Let's go back to burying him.
Yeah, I can't get over that.
These are actual quotes by him, by the way. I'm going to say a couple of them. I'm not going to go through all of them because there's too much. He says, I'm going to tell you something right now, bro, that you will absolutely not agree with, but I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, and I will live and die by this. It's hard enough, believe me, I used to write this expletive. It is hard enough to get someone over. You will never, ever, ever, ever see a Japanese wrestler or the Mexican wrestlers truly be over and draw money in American mainstream wrestling.
Yeah, because Eddie Guerrero was,
I think he was referring to, luchadors, but yeah. You could say that. And he says, and the simple reason for that is even myself, I'm an American, and I don't want to sound like a big bigot or racist or anything like that.
No!
Yeah. but I'm an American. If I'm watching wrestling here in America, I don't give an expletive about a Japanese guy. I don't give an expletive about a Mexican guy. That's just the truth. I'm from America, and that's what I want to see.
I have no
crap.
doubt that that's the truth for him. I have no doubt.
That's just insane.
So the Great Muta never drew anything?
Not
in America?
I don't know. That was up for debate. But, good Lord. In a defamation lawsuit filed by WCW, multiple people cited Vince Russo as using racist terms to describe black men, the nicest of which were calling them...
Again, I don't believe you.
Yeah. The nicest term he used to describe them was the brothers. I don't think you can say that.
I mean, yeah, when you say that, you're kind of putting him in a group, you know?
Yeah. It's like,
so.
he like, what do you mean, the brothers? You mean all the black wrestlers together? Like, come on, dude. In what way would you need to use this term?
Bro, his best friend was black, man. When he died, he cried, bro.
Holy hell. Here's my favorite. Russo says that wrestling reporters and hardcore wrestling fans are gay.
There's that thing again. That's the thing, man. You know, I don't like someone. Therefore, they're homosexual, which is a really bad thing.
Yep. Well,
good Lord, dude.
Referring to fans who flock to shows aimed at hardcores like WWE's NXT brand, the chant and chant things like "This is awesome," Russo laid out his theories as to why someone would act in that way. You are this is a quote. You're either a homosexual, okay, you like men. For you to react this way, you have to like men. B, you're either not homosexual but have homosexual tendencies, or C, you're in the closet. It's that simple, bro, because men do not react to other men that way. It's not a normal function. So not only is he saying you're all gay, but then he's saying being gay is not normal. My head hurts. Wade Keller, pro wrestling's most prominent openly gay journalist, was conspicuously left out of the homophobia when his number came up, until Russo called him a, quote, pansy. Russo objected to Keller, noting that Shane McMahon's punches don't look good, remarking that he's a, quote, pansy who must have never thrown a punch in his life. Keller, for whatever it's worth, is a lifelong martial artist. So there you go. So we've covered racism and sexism, racism and homophobia. You want to hit him with a little sexism to close it out with this crap?
Why not? This is my favorite one, by the way.
Quote, as a Christian man, I'm a believer of the Bible. I don't believe that women were created to be leaders. End quote. Russo used the biblical creation story of Adam and Eve to back up his beliefs, continuing, quote, I don't believe a woman was created to run this country based on the fact that the woman was taken from the man's rib. The woman wasn't created first, the man was created first, and the woman was created second. I believe that's how God wanted the pecking order to be. End quote. God dang. Russo.
Can I just say, by the way, on this, that the women headlining WrestleMania and Kofi Kingston probably being the WWE title match is going to drive him insane.
Oh, hell yeah. Look.
Women closing WrestleMania and a black man in the WWE title match. He may spontaneously combust.
Well, the women headlining the show may also make Jim Cornette spontaneously combust.
Yeah, this is true, too.
So the girls, as he calls them, can't headline a show. And while we're wrapping everything up, might as well touch a little bit on... There's too much to go into with Jim Cornette. That's a whole nother show. But just...
It's coming.
Quickly glossing over here with old Jimmy. April 2010, a law firm contacted and accused Jim Cornette of making a, quote, terroristic threat after he wrote a letter saying that he was concerned that TNA would go out of business because of Vince Russo, and that, quote, I want Vince Russo to die. If I could figure out a way to murder him without going to prison, I would consider it the greatest accomplishment of my life. End quote.
Yep.
What were you saying about a lot of hate?
Yeah, right.
This email was...
I don't care how much I dislike someone. I'm not going to ever wish them death. There's just no.
Yeah. Well, this email was sent to Terry Taylor, who reported it to Dixie Carter, who wanted to have Cornette arrested. Instead of this, Cornette was fired. And then we've talked, I believe we talked in the archives about, in June 2017, Russo filed a restraining order against Jim Cornette after
which Cornette had framed and plaqued.
Yeah, Jim Cornette made copies of it and signed them and sold them on his website. That was great. But he said, Russo said the reason he did this was because I guess his brother-in-law gave him a gun because he had heard what Jim Cornette had said. And when they took a transcript of one of Jim Cornette's rants to a judge, the judge said, yeah, you've got your restraining order. So there you go. And apparently Jim Cornette's lifelong buddy, Kenny Bolin, was the one that tipped Russo off, that he wasn't sure if Jim Cornette would really follow through with it.
I don't know, man. The way he talks, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, and then Russo turned around and said he wasn't afraid of Jim Cornette himself, which who the hell would be, but he said he was afraid of his followers would find where he lives and try to cause him or his family harm. What would...
that's valid. That's valid, but...
It is, but what the hell is a restraining order going to do? Doesn't cover them.
Don't know.
Just a couple other quick wrap-ups to this feud, his various feuds here. Apparently he had a back and forth with Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet, who, you and I just love him on this show. Satin accused Russo of saying
I'm not gonna say a word.
racist, sexist, and homophobic things about wrestling fans and asked sponsors to leave Russo's podcast. Russo said he lost one advertiser as a result on a March 8th episode of Castrating the Marks, his frickin' show. Russo and his co-host mocked Satin and his girlfriend, who asked not to be named, after Satin's girlfriend posted a video online saying that she and Satin kiss while wearing facial masks and watching the Oscars.
Wow.
I will say, that's creepy. But good Lord.
Did they do that, or that he knows that, or what? I mean...
No, Satin's girlfriend said that they do that. So, do they dress up like Rey Mysterio and make out during the Oscars? What the hell?
I mean, now there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own, but just, okay. Russo repeatedly called Satin a douchebag and referred to the couple as abnormal and ill. But he did not name Satin's girlfriend.
Again, one to talk.
Oh, my gosh. Satin said that his girlfriend received death threats after the episode. As a result, he reached out to Russo in what Satin said was an attempt to squash their beef and have Russo, quote, call his fan base off. Russo says the call devolved into Satin cursing him off instead of providing details on the threatening parties. Russo did not address the issue with his listeners. Unsatisfied, Satin lobbied Podcast One to remove Russo. Some of Satin's 39,000 Twitter followers did the same. Let's just say he's not on Podcast One anymore.
Darn.
Oh, I know. You want to finish off with the latest one with Cody Rhodes and wrap it all up?
Yeah, go for it.
This one was good. Cody Rhodes called Vince...
Define good.
There's a lot of meat on the bone here. Cody Rhodes called Vince Russo out for his past comments. Russo went on a bro-filled rant on his podcast. During the rant, an angry Russo called Cody names like Jackass, Child, and Mark, despite insisting that he would not stoop so low as to insult a man he didn't know personally. Because that makes all the sense in the world.
I'll agree with him on the Mark part, but
wow.
All is true.
He then told the story involving here's your favorite, a pair of neighbors he had while growing up. He used to take him to the movie theater and sneak him alcoholic White Russians. Russo stated, "My parents were best friends with them when I was growing up. Mr. Blanchard and Mr. Gardner used to take me to the movies, and I would get so excited. I remember these things vividly. I freaking love these guys." Despite his affection for his childhood neighbors, Russo claimed numerous times that he didn't even know they were homosexuals, bro. Until much later in life, possibly weakening his own argument. He said, quote, "I didn't even know that they were gay, bro. I didn't even know what gay was at the time. Gay at that point wasn't what it was today, bro." Wait a minute. So, a man being with another man in a romantic relationship was different back then than it is today?
I guess so.
I mean, I don't know what 1970s New York was like, but I can safely assume gay was
watch,
gay.
Club 50. What's it called?
Why are you asking me?
Movie? No, it's a popular. It's not about that. It's a New York movie from back in the 70s. Club 54, something like that. I don't know. That's how New York was back in the 70s. So.
I'll have to.
I'm not talking about sexuality or anything. I just mean that's how New York was. Maybe it's in there. I don't know. I've never seen it. But
yeah, I've never even heard of this. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Because the interview took place on Mother's Day, Vince also took the opportunity to insist that anyone who calls him a homophobe, sexist, or anti-Semite, or any such label, is actually taking a shot at his parents for raising him that way.
Sure.
Oh, gosh. Quote, "When you make accusations like that about me, you're saying that's how my parents raised me," Russo angrily shouted. "Cody Rhodes, get your freaking big head out of your ass." End quote. Just so much. So, when somebody says, "I don't like Cody Rhodes, I don't find him entertaining, and I don't like his views," and all this other stuff, they're crapping on Dusty Rhodes, right?
Yep.
I mean, I can only assume.
So if you don't like AEW, you hate Dusty Rhodes.
Well, that's right. That's for somebody else, baby. We're going to leave you right where you at. Despite all of this, the podcast host has invited Cody to come on his show to discuss the issue face-to-face. He always freaking does that. Or rather, as face-to-face as you can possibly be through the safety of the internet. Regardless of what side you fall on, that will definitely not be happening. Quote, "I tried to be polite as I could, and he's nowhere near our event, and that's going to stay that way," Rhodes said. Quote, "No, I'm not doing his podcast. I mean, no disrespect, and that's the end of it. He could tweet at me every day for the next 10 years. We're done." End quote.
Smartest thing Cody's ever done.
There's just so much so much dumb. Man. But that's Vince Russo in a nutshell. I think he's unemployed. And look,
I hope he stays unemployed in wrestling, not in life, but stay away from wrestling.
Yeah, if he gets a job, everybody deserves to work. Go for it. Not everybody deserves to work in the wrestling business, and he sure as hell does not. Stay as far away from my wrestling as humanly possible, and keep it that way until the day you die. I think we sufficiently crapped on him. I don't know if we really crapped on him.
Well, he's still a human being. Okay? I'm not one of those people that hates his guts and wants him dead. I just, I don't want him right in my wrestling TV.
That is true. Stay as far away from it as humanly possible, Vince Russo. Thank you.
You know what? I don't know what kind of person he is. He may be a really decent man. It's just the perception we have of him is what we see. I mean,
well, he always
that's
puts
how I
that
always
out
looked
there.
at it. I know, but I mean, we don't know how he is all. I mean, he may be just like that. I don't know. I'm not trying to play devil's advocate, but he might be a decent man. Who knows?
I hope he's a better person than what we see.
Outside of all this. Yeah.
Because what we see is he's an a-hole.
Yeah, right.
And a piece of crap. So, I mean...
But it could be a work, bro. Maybe he's a nice guy and it's all a work, bro.
He's working us, bro. Good Lord. But yeah, so that's that. I hope you had as much fun as I did burying the guy.
I did.
Next week, you want to? Should I put it on a poll, bro?
Yeah, make a poll, bro. Make them climb it.
All right. Well, there are a couple things you can vote on for next week. What you want us to cover? There is, all of these are great. I will put on Twitter. You can go vote there right now. The categories you can vote on that we will cover next week are either the invasion of WCW and ECW, or Stone Cold Steve Austin's heel turn at WrestleMania X7, and until it's through its entirety. We'll kind of dive into that, what we thought about it, all the stuff around it. There's War Games, just a look back at all the War Games and how they changed and what we thought of them. It's nice to look back every now and then. But yeah, those are the 3 categories you can vote on. Decide what you want to hear. Austin's heel turn, the invasion, or a look back at War Games. Thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Yeah, this was something.
And as always, go to patreon.com, check out me and Kyle's review of WrestleMania. If it is not up yet, it will be very soon. And it's just super cheap. Go to patreon.com/PodWrestSociety. Super cheap, get some great content. Shows are longer than this one.
It's only $1, bro!
Yeah, you get some bonus content. It's longer than this show, so you have plenty to listen to throughout the week, where we break down WrestleMania and NXT. And we'll talk a little bit of Hall of Fame. And then, of course, go to Twitter. Vote on the poll, bro! We'll see you later.
Later.
This has been a Drama City production.